The world's greatest podcast in America. John Reed, Cody McClure. Cody, what's up, my friends?
Hello, John. Good to see your face today on this fine Sunday. It's good to be here on the pod. Good to be anywhere. How you doing?
I am doing okay. A little stressed out today. Just can't get nothing to work right. But here we are. We are 20 minutes late because something on this site was being fucking weird. But we're fixed now.
Yeah,
We're good to go. You're not at home. Where are you at?
All good. Oh, I'm over here seeing a friend of mine. I'm in Miles's podcast studio here, so it's a nice little studio, nice place to do a podcast. Hopefully, I sound okay.
You guys playing video games?
Yeah, we right now he's playing as MTSU in his dynasty mode against Ole Miss. He's in a critical last 2-minute situation here. Ole Miss just took the lead, but we've been playing a little video games and watched Casino this morning. A friend of ours had never seen Casino, and so we sat down for that, which is, that's a 3-hour event. Anytime you choose to sit down and watch Casino in its entirety.
Commercial version or?
No. DVD. Not DVD, but whatever the...
Streaming?
Clearly I'm behind, yeah. Blu-ray, not even Blu-ray, yeah, it's streaming. Yeah, there's no discs anymore.
Okay, I thought I saw it on TV today, so I wasn't sure. You said this morning? Did you guys get together for breakfast and movies or what?
Well, you did see it on TV because it's been running on AMC, and it was on yesterday, and so I think that's what gave us the idea to watch it, because nobody wants to watch the commercial version. That'd take forever. No. So that was a good rewatch today. As you know, one of my all-time favorite movies. So always like going back and watching it from time to time. It's one of those movies that doesn't get old for me.
Now, have you gotten good at the video game yet? Have you found new plays since they took all yours off?
Yeah, they did an update a couple days ago, and my top cheese play is gone.
They said, hey, people who aren't good at the game, just run this one, and it's the only way they can actually do anything. And it was kind of funny when I saw the update because it was 100% your play.
Yeah, and that's been a little bit of an adjustment. Now, I like running a lot on the perimeter. I like to run a lot of those jet sweeps and the jet touch pass and that kind of stuff. So that stuff still works pretty well. But, the running game on there is kind of tricky anyway. You gotta really kind of find the hole like you would in, football. So I've found some things that work. I've won some games since the adjustment, but I will miss my Wildcat motion jet with Quinshon Judkins. Literally unstoppable.
Now, credit to you, I guess, for being able to find the one play that they deemed unstoppable.
Yeah. I just happened to stumble upon it, and I knew what a stud Quinshon Judkins was on there. So when you would run that with Ohio State, I mean, it's pretty much, it was money. But
they fixed his spin move and everything too, right? They throttled that down as well.
Yeah, it's wild how good he is on the game, or how good he was. I don't know if it was that just a glitch or something, you think?
I think he had like the best spin move on the game, the platinum spin move, and I think that little badge under him was just juiced up too high, so they tried to throttle that down. Because you could I've seen videos of people literally just spinning up the entire field with him, just back and forth to one side, and like people not really being able to tackle him.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it as soon as I played with him because, those first few days, you're trying to figure out which teams you like and whose playbook you like, and who you want to play with. And I remember when I discovered Ohio State, I think I was playing against Miles, and I immediately ran the ball with Judkins. I was like, oh, this is a fucking cheat code. Like this guy's unstoppable. So that's why I picked Ohio State going into the video game tournament. But it sounds like they've adjusted some things, so it's a little more realistic now. Are they going to do that periodically?
Yeah, I think every 30 days or so.
Yeah. Well.
So how's your weekend been?
It's been fine. I mean, no real highlights for me this weekend. Just kind of hanging out and doing my Ubering and such, and
Make any money?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. What have you done? Did you go out any?
Friday, hung out at the studio for a while. Went one place for a little bit and then came home. So a little bit, not really. Friday night, it was a pretty early night, but I did at least go out and go somewhere, but ended up home pretty quickly and watched that night's WWE Friday Night SmackDown, and then put on some shitty Netflix movie and passed out on my couch. And then yesterday didn't really do anything, and then today haven't really done anything other than just kind of watch. I watched the two Olympic, gold medal games for both of the Team USA France matchups, but that's pretty much been the highlight of my weekend.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did watch the basketball yesterday against France, and that's the first time I had watched the Team USA play because I didn't really catch any of the other games, but I knew they were in the final, so I thought I'd tune in, and I just watched like the last 10 minutes or so of the game, like the fourth quarter of the game, and
Now you waited just until it was time to watch, I guess.
yeah, I wanted to make sure we won. I wanted to make sure to send those French back to the, or well, I guess keep them right where they're at since they're in Paris, but send them back to their homes. I guess they're locally. But yeah, that Steph Curry. I mean, that guy, he got a promising future, doesn't he? That guy, he's quite a shooter.
Yeah, it was quite the stretch for him. I kind of felt bad for LeBron, who had carried the team, and even in that game had kind of carried the team. And he's the one that hit the big shot with 5 or 6 minutes left to kind of push the lead back up when France was making an initial push. But LeBron was pretty shitty down the stretch there, kept turning the ball over. And, when things got close, it was Curry that had to kind of bail them out. So it's kind of crazy seeing Steph just get in that mode. It's probably one of the only times that he's gone into that mode where I've been rooting for him. Typically, I don't like the Warriors. I root against the Warriors. So it was kind of fun to finally be on the right side of one of those spurts that he goes on. And even more so crazy just to kind of see everyone else, like the other best players in the world, have to take a back seat for him. Because, like, that's the cool thing about the Olympics is that on the court, you had 4 of the what I think will end up being, as history will remember them, at least for the next 20 years or so, 4 of the top 15 players in the world all time on the court together. 3 for Team USA, 1 trying to take them down. Of course, I'm talking about Jokic, and then Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant.
Wemby.
But all 4, Wemby on the court too. The next game, Steph got hot in the knockout semifinal game, but then throw Wemby in there, who maybe rises to that level. So you'll look at those 2 games, and very possible that 5 of the 20 best players of all time will have been in that stretch, and that's pretty cool.
Well, watching Steph hit those threes, he hit the first one. I'm like, yeah, that's what Steph does. And then he hit the second one. I was like, oh wow, I drained another one. Surely, and then he comes down, takes another shot. Surely he's not going to hit a third 3, and then he cashed that one, and then he banged a fourth just to go ahead and shut the door.
Yeah, I was getting a little mad because I had a bet on I needed a LeBron James double-double.
Oh.
And he got his points. He had 5 rebounds, and I think they gave him credit for 2 assists or 3 assists at halftime. And, Steph's first 3 was his 9th assist. I was like, okay, here we go. Just need 1 more of these in the last couple minutes. Come on, LeBron, let's get an assist. And then, he just never got the ball back, and Steph's just cooking. And I'm like, can we pass to LeBron? Can LeBron pass it back to Curry, please? Just let LeBron do a little dribble handoff, do something. And it just kept going and going, and he just kept hitting shot after shot. And I was like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
I ain't getting 1 more assist, but then LeBron got a loose ball with 27 seconds left and threw it full court and hit Booker in stride for a layup at the very end with 20 seconds left to get the 10th assist. So I was able to enjoy Steph's ride and also make some money off LeBron's double-double.
Now, Booker, there's another guy. He's a good player. I thought all the guys that were on the floor were very good players.
Yeah.
They all appeared to
crazy.
Be. Well, it's
crazy how the American, national team pretty good at basketball.
They all appeared to be very skilled at the game they were playing. That fucking Embiid, that some bitch is huge, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't like Embiid.
I
He
don't.
had a good stretch against Jokic in the semifinal game, and I was happy for him. I tweeted out it was his career highlight because I do think that up until that point it was his career highlight. And then Sunday, or I guess it was Saturday, excuse me, in the gold medal game. I don't know if Wemby was in his head. I don't know if the French crowd was in his head, and he was trying too hard because he almost played for Team France.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were
And
booing him.
instead chose America, so they were booing him. But he sucked in the gold medal game.
I didn't realize how huge he is. Like, I mean, I know he's obviously an NBA player, but just like his build, and maybe it's because I saw him when he was congratulating Steph, and Steph is smaller for an NBA player, but Embiid was like just a mountain of a man. God, it'd be tough to deal with on the court, I would imagine. But yeah, it was good to see Team USA win. Now,
I had that same moment when Wemby was guarding LeBron.
yeah, he's huge
Because
too.
LeBron's a physical specimen, but then I just finally realized how much of a freak that big French bastard is because he was dwarfing LeBron, and LeBron, of course, is like I said, one of the more physically imposing athletes of my lifetime.
Yeah, well, just lengthwise. I mean, yeah, Wemby's
Right.
just he's a different species, but
Yeah.
I guess that's why they call him the alien. But so are we? The last I saw, we were tied at 40 with China with the gold medals. Is that where it stands, or did we? Are you watching these closing ceremonies?
No, I'm not watching the closing ceremonies.
Okay. Well, we had them on the TV, but it looked like they were doing a bunch of weird stuff. Like somehow or another, they were connecting the 5 circles. The Olympic. You're familiar with the rings. The Olympics.
Sure.
3 on top and then 2 on the bottom, and they were doing this weird thing where these people were inside the circles and basically doing cartwheels around, and then they pulled them up in the sky, and they're doing a lot of weird stuff. It's kind of like one of those acrobatic shows, like a circus or something, mixed with a Super Bowl halftime show. I'm just not familiar with any of this stuff because I never really watched the ceremonies. So I guess maybe they do this every time they close the Olympics, but it looks like a Super Bowl halftime show or something. Just weird stuff.
It does appear that it did finish tied for the most golds, 40-40, with us beating them in the total medal count by 35.
Now, could we find a sport or an event that the Chinese won that maybe we could throw out and be like, yeah, they tied us, but really they shouldn't have won so and so?
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't watch enough of it, but apparently China just absolutely cleaned up in all the powerlifting stuff.
Really?
And that does make me wonder if these athletes are all hopped up on steroids.
You think the Chinese are doping?
I mean, I don't know. I didn't take the Chinese as the strongest country in the world when it came to physical strength.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so, would you? I mean, but I don't know. I mean, maybe they are. Have they always been known for powerlifting, or is this a new thing? That'd probably be the question to ask.
Diving, shooting, and table tennis, I guess they're getting credit for 3 sports. I saw people talking about them in powerlifting too, which every time it's called table tennis, I stop and pause. Do we just call table tennis ping pong as a racial slur? Or maybe not a racial slur, but just as an insensitive slur.
Are you saying because the Chinese are good at it?
Yeah, because no one else calls it ping pong, but I feel like we might have started calling it ping pong to make fun of the Chinese.
Ping pong.
Right, exactly.
I
mean, it's never clicked for me, I don't think, but I'm beginning to wonder when I see how good that the Asians are at ping pong every year. Did we just start calling it that as a really insensitive slur?
I mean, it makes sense because I've told you about the Chinese roommate I used to have when me and Brandon got the random roommate situation that time, and we got the foreign exchange student, the Chinese dude, and a friend of mine called him Bing Bong. Which I thought that was kind of insensitive, but it does rhyme with ping pong, so that could be what they were going for there.
I don't know.
Is there a history behind it?
Yeah, I'm looking it up. Let's see. If you've ever wondered why ping pong is called ping pong, you've come to the right place. Okay.
Tennis is just ping pong standing on the table.
I don't need a full story here.
The racist history behind ping pong.
Is that what you found?
No,
Okay.
I'm thinking of what the article would be called.
No, it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. I don't think. Let's see.
Google Huffington Post with it. See if anything comes up.
The term. Okay, so it came from a song that was frequently performed on stage in London.
Ping pong, ping pong, ping ping pong, pong, ping pong. Good tune.
Players observed that the ball made a distinct sound when it hit paddles.
Ping.
Yeah, they're saying it's the sound of ping pong.
Pong. Where does pong come from? Because when it hits the paddle, it goes ping, ping. Pong must be when the ball falls off the table, you think? Pong, 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 pong. And then it starts rolling, so it's like pong, 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 pong. Ping pong.
Maybe I'm the one that needs to be canceled for making some connection that wasn't there.
Yeah, maybe so.
Maybe this is my thing, I guess. Maybe this is my own personal biases coming out. Holy fuck.
We too low. Whatever happened with that story?
Something wrong. I don't think anything happened. I don't think.
Holy shit! Speaking of plane crashes, did you see that plane fall out of the sky? I think it was a Brazilian commercial airline. 70 people died. I think it was Friday.
I saw a screenshot, and it was just someone being like, "You got to be fucking kidding me," because they got the story breaking news while they were on a plane. Like it was like on their like little ABC channel or whatever they were watching. Like I think they were trying to watch the Olympics on like a Delta like flight, and there was like breaking news, and had like a screenshot of a plane falling. That's the only thing I saw from it, though.
It was pretty graphic. You could see like explosions and like it looked pretty bad. I'm pretty sure every single person on board died. It was like 68 or 70 people, something like that.
That is it. So it sounds like a pretty small plane, I guess.
I mean, yeah, I guess for an airline, I guess it'd be a pretty small plane, pretty small flight.
Did they say what happened to it?
I mean, because there's normally 4 in a row. So like, what's like?
Yeah, there's usually at least 40 rows. Yeah, I mean like 38 rows somewhere in there.
35 times 4 maybe, or 34 times. It's probably one of those smaller planes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to it, but the videos you can see it just like twirling, just like falling out of the sky. Like it's pretty surreal.
Spinning?
Yeah,
like spinning in circles.
Yeah, it's kind of slowly spinning down from the sky. Be a pretty terrifying way to go out, I'd imagine.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be scary, but there'd be some peace to it. I imagine it'd be pretty quick.
Yeah. Just trying to enjoy a vacation, you know.
Maybe that's not the way to phrase that, because it wouldn't be quick enough. It'd probably be about 2 minutes of really bad fear. I guess maybe I've always thought whenever I'm on the plane, if it's going to crash, it's one of those things where you can't just be like, oh, shit. It's just kind of like, there's nothing we can do about it.
I think there would be a pretty big fear. I mean, you would maybe try to be at peace with it, but in the moment, like, it'd be pretty terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like it's one of those that, like, I think I've always thought if it goes down, it goes down. What the fuck are we going to do about it? So it's not like you can, like, run away from a killer or, like, avoid a guy, pulling a gun out on you. It's just like, hey, we are trapped in this metal tube and we are crashing towards the earth, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but with all the screaming and everything as you're headed to the ground, I mean, that would be pretty bad.
Oh, yeah. No, I know. I think in my head I just tell myself that every time there's turbulence just to try to put myself at peace. But, yeah, I'd imagine those 2 minutes are pretty terrifying.
Maybe if you flew with noise-canceling headphones, then you could just put those on while the other passengers are screaming. And you could just you could die with those on your head and kind of close your eyes. You'd really never know it.
It's an all-time bad take from me saying that's peaceful. I think I just meant like there's nothing you can do about it.
I know what you meant.
Just kind of like, well, we're fucked.
Yeah.
What are the chances of this happening? It's just kind of like, well, damn it.
Yep. Flying's typically very safe, but I picked a bad day to try to fly into Rio or wherever.
Yeah, I mean, it is crazy that there aren't more planes that crash.
Yeah. I don't know. There's such a high standard, like with the FAA, I mean, my dad's a pilot, and just the things he's told me about, like trying, like all the stuff you got to do before even flying, like you got to check everything. Like it takes 45 minutes or so just to get ready to fly. And you got to know all this stuff, and like they make it hard to make mistakes. But it still happens, of course. But I think it's even more rare for it to happen on a commercial flight.
I just think if I was on that commercial flight or had a loved one there, you'd just kind of be like, oh, well, what are the odds?
Is that what you'd say?
Yeah, what are the odds? What can you do?
I knew we should have gone to Costa Rica instead.
That would be bad during those 2 minutes as you're freaking out if you got someone in your ear nagging. I told you I didn't want to go on this trip.
Yeah.
This was a miserable time.
At least there wouldn't be another one. Speaking of that topic, though, what are your big fears? Because I saw a story about the Eiffel Tower rogue climber at the Olympics. Did you see this? Where a guy tried to climb the Eiffel Tower?
No, did he fall?
I don't know what happened, but I just saw it as a headline that there was a rogue climber on the Eiffel Tower, and I was thinking, like, if presented the opportunity, would you try to climb a tower?
No, what?
Like if there was something to be gained, what would need to be gained, do you think?
Oh, I mean, yeah, if there was something to be gained, maybe, but like not just fame. Was this guy just, climbing it for attention?
I guess. I don't know. I could have read the story, but
if someone put like, $1 million up at the top of like a 200-foot tower, it's like, hey, if you climb up here and hit this button, you get $1 million. Yeah, I'd maybe try that.
It's kind of the real world version of the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Right. Like if there was guaranteed money, I would maybe consider it, especially if I was in a bind or needing some money. So that'd be kind of cool. I'd like to see that. Mr. Beast guy who kind of got canceled for maybe hanging around like a pedophile, or what happened there? Are we familiar with what happened with Mr. Beast?
I think it was somebody that was working for him or something.
Right, but like one of his homies, right? That was like in his videos and like he had vouched for, and
I think it was like a friend of his or something.
Okay, well, anyways, he's always doing those stunts where he's like trying to get people to earn money, and like, hey, he made this one couple like sleep in a room together, just them two, for like a month. And hey, if they made it out, they got so much money. Let's just put some money up at the top of like a 200-foot like tower, like one of those radio towers, or one of those, like where the electricity is. You got to climb up and just see if somebody will strap in and do it, or you don't get to strap in. You just got to climb. Imagine how sweaty your palms would be.
There's just absolutely no way. There's no way that I could do that and not fall.
Those flimsy ones would be pretty scary on those. The higher you get and the wind starts kind of moving them side to side.
Oh yeah.
Like I've seen those. I mean, I've climbed up pretty high. I climbed up to the top. Have you ever seen like a silo? You know what a silo is? Like a place where they shoot corn down and everything. Like there's a lot of those on the farm that I would climb up, 30, 40 feet up on ladders when I was a kid. Go real slow and just pretty much wrap your arm every time. And I used to love doing that type of stuff when I was younger. I don't think I would do it now though.
Well, you get to a certain point where like the fall is going to kill you.
Oh yeah.
Like you fall from 10 feet, you'll probably be all right. You might feel a little bruised up. You fall from 20, you probably could break something, maybe break an arm or a leg. Once you get up, I'd say 40, 50 feet, I mean, you land wrong. I mean, that probably kills you, doesn't it? Like what is the height of a fatal fall? What do you think the height is that you got to reach to where it kills you? Assuming you don't land on your head.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think 15 feet would kill you if you fell the wrong way.
Yeah, if you landed on your head and broke your neck. But I'm saying if you don't break your neck, like let's just say you land on your side.
What's your take? What's your pick?
Do you think I don't know. Do you think it depends on what you land in? Like if you land in a cornfield, is that going to cushion it a little more? Like,
unless you get a corn stalk up your ass.
A corn stalk up the ass.
Yeah.
Impaled by a corn stalk. There's probably
falling from a height of under 30 feet gives you about 3 out of 4 chance of survival. I mean, I don't know if this website's ridiculous or whatever, but
so under 30 feet, you have a 75% chance.
Yeah.
So basically, like you could fall out of a 3-story building and probably live.
A fall from 40 feet or so, and it's a coin toss.
See,
I
that's
don't
about
know.
what I was thinking.
Could you fall out of the top of a tree and survive?
Yeah, I
Just like your
mean,
standard 30-foot tree. Like if you climbed at the top of it, if you fell out of it, were you surviving?
well, I mean, you would think like, I mean, you've seen those movies like Tarzan and stuff like that, where the branches kind of break your fall somewhat. So I think it slowed down your velocity a little bit.
Well, yeah, but he also was like swinging full speed into trees and not dying either. He's just kind of leaving a cartoon, cut out of himself behind. So I don't know how realistic that is. But I don't think you want to hit the branches because if you hit the branches, it might flip you over.
Yeah, but it's going to slow you down. Like if you're hitting leaves, like is it a thick tree in the summer? Like a summertime tree, I feel like you got a better chance. Wintertime tree, when all the leaves are gone, I mean, you're just banging off branches.
So you'd rather bang off branches than just free fall?
I think so because you build more velocity if you free fall.
Yeah, I just get worried about getting spun. That's when you get into the part where you might land on your neck if you hit one that spins you over, it topples you over.
You just got to keep your arms behind your head, try to brace for the fall, I guess.
Yeah, I don't like climbing up high things anymore.
I mean, I
I
just
used,
don't.
I used to be a little bit of a daredevil, like climbing like cliffs and stuff to jump off of. Those were like in my high school days. I don't really much like doing that anymore.
No, I have a fear of heights. I used to not have a fear of heights when I was younger, but now I do. And like when I watch those YouTube videos of the people climbing those towers, I can feel that it gives me like a feeling in my stomach and like in my feet, like
Uh-huh.
almost like I'm putting myself there, you know? And it really, it's like, it's a weird feeling. It's terrifying to think
Where does
about.
heights rank in your top five? Is it in your top five?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably number one.
So just falling to death?
I mean, just the big fears that people like generally have. You know, I mean, like heights is always the first one people talk about. I mean,
Do you get nervous when you go on airplanes?
no, not at all.
Okay, then you
I
can't be.
feel
I don't feel like you can like consider yourself actually that afraid of heights. Then
I feel safe on an airplane, unless I'm going to Brazil, of course.
like you went to the top of the Empire State Building, right?
Yeah, and I'm okay.
See,
And
I don't think you're as afraid of heights as you're acting because there's some people that wouldn't even like consider doing that.
well, I know I have a friend who didn't want to get up next to the glass. I get a little queasy if I get up close to the glass, though. Like
Sure, I
really
think
look
everyone
out over.
does. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I think most people do, but I don't think you actually have a fear of heights. I think you're stealing valor here.
Oh, you think that's normal? That
I think that's normal.
everybody
Yeah,
feels that way.
yeah. It seems like you have a normal relationship with heights. I won't say everyone
Oh,
feels that way
okay.
because some of those people are fucking crazy and go to try to climb the Eiffel Tower and all that. But like, I
They
think you
have
have a
no fear.
normal. Yeah, I think you have a normal relationship with heights.
Okay. So, like, if you were on the 100th floor of a building and you walked up next to the window, you'd get that kind of queasiness and be like,
Yeah, yeah. When I
ugh.
go like to the beach or something or like on vacation and I'm up on like the 20th floor just on the balcony, I get a little queasy if I go too close because I'm like, hey, what if this rail falls off? Like I
Yeah.
have that goes in my mind. I don't like leaning up against it.
I don't like leaning up on that rail either. No,
No,
definitely
yeah. So
not.
I think that's a normal relationship. I'll go out there, but I don't want to like be out there where it gets real windy and just messing around. No
Would it,
horseplay. I got a firm no horseplay rule in most situations when I'm high up in the air, and this
yeah.
stems from being like in sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade, sometime, and going up in the Ferris wheel with this guy. It wasn't weird at this point to go up in the top of the Ferris wheel with the guy when you're in like seventh
Like
or eighth
as
grade
a
because
stranger?
no, I mean it was like a friend. It was a guy friend though, but it wasn't like we were on a date or nothing. We were into girls. It was just we just happened to be at the
Nothing
Ferris
wrong
wheel
with
together.
riding the Ferris wheel with your bros.
It'd be a little weird to do now. It'd be a little weird to do like in like senior year of high school and up, and up. But this was before then, and he just kept fucking rocking the chair, and I was like,
Oh,
bro,
yeah.
stop it. I was like, I didn't like it, and I was
Don't
getting
like that.
mad. Yeah, and it ruined my experience, and I really don't remember if I was friends with that guy anymore after that.
You think it'd be weird to
It
ride the
might have been the
Ferris wheel
guy who I
together?
told you got shot in the head. It might have been that guy I told you got shot in the back of the head during a bad crack deal. So
Yeah.
he lived his life pretty dangerously, rocking Ferris wheels and running around with a pocket full of stones.
Some guys are just daredevils, and I've never been that type of guy. Like that, you know, they want to do dirt bike stunts, and I don't know. Some guys are wired that way. I guess it's like that evil Knievel thing, you know.
I like jumping off shit, and I've done my fair share of like stuff, but just sitting up at the top of the Ferris wheel and rocking it. That to me, there was no reward for that.
No, like what good can happen there?
Right, exactly. There's no reward for that. Like, I've jumped out of an airplane. I skydived, and there was a reward. That was fun. I don't regret that. I would probably do that again. But, like, there was no reward for just sitting up there being an asshole rocking the Ferris wheel. I was like, what are we doing here?
Well, maybe that's what the reward, but maybe it just brought him joy to make his friends, like, cringe, And, like,
maybe.
That's probably what it was. But, well, anyway, R.I.P. to him.
If that was him, I'm still not positive that was him, but that's what I'm picturing in my head doing it.
Yeah. Well, it was probably him. I mean, it sounds like kind of the same deal there. Do you have any favorite vacation destinations?
Oh, we're done with fears?
Oh, do you want to keep going? I mean, all the other big ones I don't really have. Like, I don't have a fear of spiders.
Home invasions are my number one.
Someone breaking in and, like, shooting at you?
Yeah. Or doing some really, like, foul shit to me before.
Yeah. Like torturing you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't be ideal.
I was always really terrified of that as a kid.
Of torture?
No, mostly just the robbing and raping and murder. Really just the murder.
Well, the murder probably wouldn't be as bad as the torture. Like if someone just...
Yeah, but I'd imagine most people that have been tortured, as long as it wasn't like truly heinous, they're probably happy they stayed alive. So I would say the murder's still probably worse.
I don't know. I just think about how bad it would hurt to be tortured.
Yeah, but like at least you can heal.
I mean, I guess, yeah. You probably
it would hurt a lot in the time, but I think getting murdered could hurt too.
What do you think hurts worse from being tortured, the mental part or the physical part?
The physical part. Although you'd be pretty afraid too.
I mean, I think you'd be scarred for your entire life, though. Like,
yeah, sure, but at least you'd still be alive. I'd say most people, like, I don't know, he's not alive to ask anymore, but John McCain seems like, he went from a prisoner of war that got tortured to, like, he seemed like he was pretty happy to still be alive and, running for political office, and, it seemed like he would be like, hey, it was worth it, or, hey, I'm glad I lived.
Yeah,
there might be some people that had some real foul shit happen to them, like, the sex trafficking victims that get saved, and if they had some really, really bad stuff happen to them, then they might just be like, hey, I wish I was dead. And a lot of them maybe end up killing themselves. I don't know how it gets down, or at least turn to drugs to numb the pain and all that. I'm just saying, unless you got into some real crazy shit where they're cutting fingers off. And
well, that's what I'm talking about.
They're doing what they did to, like, Reek. If they cut my cock off like they did in Game of Thrones, I might just be like, hey, just kill me instead.
That works good for you because you are planning to be the eunuch for Halloween.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not planning that per se. I'm willing to do it if everybody else at the station
but
is willing to do it.
You got to cut your cock off, though. That's part of the deal.
I'm just going to tuck it in.
You got to play the character. Well, you better keep it tucked.
Is it confirmed you didn't have a cock, or was it just balls?
I think he didn't have a cock because Tyrion made a joke about it. Remember when they were riding in the wagon? I think Tyrion made a joke about him not having his cock.
Okay. I just didn't know if he was castrated or if that, because I mean that doesn't always include cutting the cock off. I don't think, but either way, I'll keep. It's hard for me sometimes to tuck it in because, like I said, I'm a grower, not a shower, so it's a little bit tougher to get
It's already tucked.
Well, I wasn't going to go that far. It's not already tucked. It's just harder to get it in between my legs.
I got a. Speaking of cocks, I got a cock problem right now. Not to be too graphic or anything, but I got a swollen helmet. It's like swelled up and it's bright red. I don't know what happened. I think it's just the heat of the summer, maybe. I've had this happen before, but it kind of comes and goes, and normally it, after a week or so, it goes back to normal. But I can't figure out why it happens. It's always in the summertime. It gets swollen around the helmet, and it's real kind of like itchy. I've tried to put creams on it and stuff, but I can't seem to find a cream that really helps.
Are you talking about your actual penis?
Yeah, my helmet. I got a swollen hammer is what I'm saying.
It sounds a little bit like a herpes outbreak.
I don't think it'd be herpes because why would it keep coming and going like that?
Well, that's what herpes do. They stay dormant and they come out. You think when you have herpes, they don't just stay there the whole time.
What is a herpes?
I don't know, like a sore?
I always hear it as plural. Well, I don't have sores. There's no bugs crawling around or anything. Like when it goes back to normal, it's normal.
It sounds like you might have herpes.
I think it's like
Have you ever been tested for STDs?
no.
I feel like you might need to go get tested for STDs.
It's not an STD. I know it's not an STD, but
You've talked about some pretty foul shit and paying some pretty foul people to do pretty foul things to you. There was the whole Vaseline Alley thing. There's the whole
I
woman
did
under the
not.
bridge.
Come on.
There's the whole stripper down in New Orleans that you did nasty stuff to. I think you should consider getting an STD test.
No, I know it's not an STD because the first time it happened, I hadn't had any action in a long time.
That doesn't mean anything. STDs stay around. It's not a either use it or lose it type of situation. It sounds like you need to go get an STD
No,
test.
but why would it emerge after months of no action? Why would it just suddenly oh yeah, by the way, here's your herpes?
I'm not an expert. I don't know.
I'm exaggerating a little bit. I don't want you building this narrative that I've got an STD. It's like
I'm not building anything. I'm asking you questions.
It's not. I know it's not an STD.
All right.
It's like a heat rash.
All right. Well, just take it out and show us. Let's see it.
No, I can't do that on the podcast. We'll get kicked off YouTube. No, I think it's
medical. This is a medical thing. I think you can get by with it if it's medical.
Actually,
I've seen some broads starting to take their titties out to breastfeed, but they're not even breastfeeding for real anymore. They're just pretending like they're breastfeeding. It's instructional. They're showing people how to breastfeed, and really it's just a loophole to get their titties out. And it's pretty brilliant, actually.
Yeah.
But it's how they beat the pornography blocks on these sites. It's like, no, this is educational.
Yeah, it is nice to see the titties out when possible.
All right, so let's see it. Get that hog out.
I'm not going to show my cock on the podcast, although probably would be our best rated episode.
This is medical. If this gets 300 likes and 100 comments by tomorrow at midnight, when Cody's herpes maybe go away, Cody will show hog.
If it gets 300 comments of pull out your cock,
let's see it, because it sounds it sounds a little bit like an STI.
It's not, and I just want to clarify that I don't want that narrative to begin because it's not an STI.
I also want to clarify that I did not begin this narrative. I was just responding to some stuff you said, so I don't want to be accused of trying to spread rumors about you. I was simply responding to what you said.
It's some kind of heat-related thing. I don't know exactly what it is, but I think it's heat-related because it's like I don't know. It gets sensitive and just gets kind of raw down there, but it heals up. And goes back to normal, typically pretty soon. So this has happened 3 or 4 times in the last few years. So I don't know. You know what I think it was, if I can be honest about something. When I was younger.
The woman in New Orleans? The stripper?
No, I did have a relation with a stripper in New Orleans, but that was a long time ago. When I was a boy,
about 4 years ago or so, when this problem first started popping up.
No, that was like 2011. That's been a long time. When I was a boy, though, my stepbrother and I used to. We would get on opposite sides of the pool. We didn't look at each other or nothing like that. We'd be on opposite sides of the pool, but we would put our cocks up against the thing that blows the water out. The jet thing. You know what I mean? When you're swimming and you put your hand up against that thing and it's blowing the water out.
I'm familiar with the jet.
If you ever get a chance, or maybe if you're ever in a dry spell or in a pinch, it feels pretty good to kind of put your cock close up against the jet stream, and it does this like you can imagine the feeling.
I don't think this is what's happened to your penis all these years later.
The reason I say that is because the first time it happened, it swelled up real big, and I thought I was going to have to go to the doctor. But it just I guess the skin became inflamed or something.
The first time what happened? The first time you put your cock in a jet stream or?
Yeah.
Okay. And this was when you were a kid?
Yeah, I mean, this was several years ago. But
you actually stuck your penis in it or just around it?
Up against it. I couldn't get it in the little hole. I mean, that'd be too small. But you just put it up.
If you line up the hole the right way, you could get the hole pretty close to it.
It feels really good though if you ever just bored in the pool, and looking for something to pass the time. It feels
now, would
good.
you then turn around and try to let it like blow in your ass as well?
I don't want to be dishonest. I did let the jets blower in my ass once or twice. Yeah, I can't be dishonest. But it's kind of like having a bidet. It was like the early form of a bidet. It's just aggressive water stream into the asshole. Feels pretty good. It feels pretty good. Now you got to try it. You got to let me know. You don't have to say it publicly, but one of these days you got to try it and let me know how you felt.
Have you ever stuck your dick in a couch?
In a couch?
Yeah.
No.
The couch cushions?
No, that never really occurred to me to put it in the couch. And I don't think I'm qualified to be vice president anyway. So I wouldn't do that.
Along those same lines, some YouTube comments from 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. Sorry to the audience, by the way. We missed last week's episode. We took a little summer vacation.
That's not what happened. Cody was mad.
That's not why we didn't do it, though.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Cody was too mad.
Now, see, this is like the STD thing, another false narrative. The reason we didn't do it is because we just never could get our schedules aligned.
I don't feel like I want to co-sign that. My schedule was pretty good outside of you asking me on Monday to do it Monday night. I couldn't do it Monday night, but I was open the rest of the week and you were busy. It wasn't that we couldn't make our schedules work. It's that you were mad on Sunday and then you went to a Braves game and then you were tired from the Braves game. And that was really what it was.
You're saying I was mad the next Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad the next Sunday. I had plans to watch the Dragon Show finale, and so that's why
that came on like at 8:00 at night.
Yeah, I know, but we kind of built the whole day around it, and then, like you said, Monday you were busy. Tuesday, I don't know what happened. I mean, I'm taking the blame for us not doing it. I'm not saying it was any of your fault, but it's mostly my fault. And then Wednesday I'd kind of planned to do it, but I had that spur of the moment trip to Atlanta. So anyway, sorry to everyone. It's the first time we've missed a week, though, and since we've been doing this, we started in January. Somewhere?
No, we missed another week too, around like my Omaha trip and your either Vegas or something trip. There's been another week too where we missed.
Oh, well,
we used to do 2 a week, and now we don't even do 1 a week. So.
Well, we got to keep the 1 a week going. It's just with the radio show and everything, we're seeing each other every day. And so it's like there's not as much stuff that happens, I feel like. Because, like, if anything happens, we kind of just address it on the radio show.
Well, yeah, we haven't really got a chance to talk about you taking bubbles in the ass on the radio show, though, at least. So I'm glad we got the podcast outlet to do that.
That's why I had this written down to tell you about my swollen helmet so that we could have this is good for the podcast audience.
Yeah, I do think you should probably go get an STD test. But along those same lines, Jordan writes in on the comments on YouTube, which, by the way, it's still important to show us love on the YouTube comments and likes, because if that dies down, then we're going to feel less inclined to keep doing this because we do see each other too much during the week as it is. But I still enjoy it as long as you guys still enjoy it. So make sure you like, subscribe, come on Cody's face, and make sure you comment as well. Jordan writes in, would you last longer in a water polo match or in Sydney Sweeney?
Last longer doing what?
What do you mean doing what?
Well, I mean, they're different activities. I think I get where he's going with Sydney Sweeney. He's talking about having intercourse with her, right?
Essentially the question would be, how long could you be inside of her without finishing versus being able to tread water and compete in a water polo match?
But are you also having sex doing the water polo match, or are you just trying
most people are not in the water for sexual gratification. That is just you and your stepbrother and a couple other sickos.
Opposite ends of the pool. Can you explain to me what water polo match is like?
Now, would he get his blown in his ass too, and you guys would just look at each other while you're each getting your ass played with, or what was happening there?
I don't think he ever blew it in his ass, no. I think he drew the line at blowing it in the ass. But not me. I said, I'm going to give it a shot. So you
don't know what water polo is?
Well, I saw him playing that one day when we were watching at the station. But
here's what I will say. I think you got about 15 seconds in a water polo match. Oh, I feel confident that you're not making it longer than 30 seconds in a water polo match.
Well, what does he mean? Like, just how long?
Before you die, before you drown, before you have to quit.
Well, I can keep my head above water.
But you have to be competing in the match. You actually have to be trying. You can't just be sitting there in the water. And like you don't get a touch and you got to swim. It does look like the most grueling sport in the world. And I don't know if there's any stats or data to back this up, but like you're treading water, swimming at full speed, wrestling, trying to catch a ball and throw a ball. Like it's very, very, very tiring. And like I said, I think in an actual match, you'd maybe have 30 seconds. And I'm not saying you as like, haha, Cody's fat. It's like I think the normal person has 30 seconds of like being able to compete at this. I don't think I have much longer than that. I'd maybe give myself 15 more seconds than you, or maybe 30 seconds more than you, but a minute tops for either of us.
Well, again, I ask, I mean, what's the point? Like, I don't think I'm going to drown after 30 seconds. Like, I think I could
but you're
fight
calling for the float. You're calling for the float. Well, they're pulling you. Like if you get the ball, they're kind of pulling you underwater. So it's really, again, just not about you dying, just about you being, okay, I quit this. Fuck this. I'm tired of water polo. Lifeguard.
Am I fighting against Olympians or just peers of other fat guys?
No, good. I'm not going to say Olympians, but good water polo players.
Me and our offensive linemen, we used to wrestle in the pool. We'd do like pool wrestling and stuff, like with a football.
I can't imagine you guys were not standing in the water though. I can't imagine you big fat asses are out in the deep end doing that. I just can't.
I'm in the deep end now. So
that's what water polo is. You don't get to stand.
Okay.
In water polo, you have to do everything while treading water, like it's a deep pool.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, we would have been in the shallow end of the pool when we were doing that. That's correct. So, I mean, I'd give myself a minute. I think I could fight for a minute.
Okay. I disagree with it, but I'll let you be your own time setter. I more so give you like 30 seconds.
Okay. Well,
before like you just being just wiped and just like, I'm done. I quit.
Well, either way, I'll make this simple and say that I would still last longer in the water polo. Because as long as you give me 15 seconds of lasting in the water polo, that's going to be more than with Sydney Sweeney. Because once I put that thing in there, I mean, it's assuming it's not swollen or infected. Once I put normal hog in Sydney Sweeney, I mean, yeah, that's not going to last long at all.
What if you had a chance right now? What if the skies opened up and heaven was delivered to your front door? Would you still try it right now with your swollen helmet?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course I would.
You wouldn't be embarrassed?
I mean, I wouldn't really care if it's...
What if she acted like she liked you?
Like we were going to date if I had a...
Just that she was maybe interested. Just like that maybe she was interested and like you guys hit it off. You're having the best day ever. And then she's like, you know what? When you know, let's see what you got, big boy. Would you like be trying to slow it down? Be like, no, I really like you. Let's take things slow. I'm scared of getting hurt. Well, really, you're just trying to buy time for your penis to not be swollen up anymore. But what are you doing? Are you risking ruining like?
Yeah.
Maybe stretching this out and her not thinking you're a gross guy with herpes.
Yeah, I'm risking it. I mean, I'm taking all the risks. Yeah, and I think she. What would probably happen is I'd probably pull it out, and she'd start laughing at it, and then I would start crying, and that would be the end of the night. That's probably the most likely scenario there. But yeah, I'd take a shot. I mean, if she was going to give it up, I'd try it. I mean, it's an A-list celebrity we're talking about here.
Okay.
Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you give it a shot if you had a swollen hammer?
I don't know, man.
I don't know
what I would do.
Maybe I'd try to explain it to her. I'd be like, look, I was in the pool yesterday, and I was bored, and I didn't know you were coming today. I didn't know Sydney Sweeney was going to show up at my doorstep today. And so I was just settling for a jet stream. And I got a little problem down there right now. If she really liked me, then I think she'd give me a couple weeks, wouldn't she?
I think she would think you had herpes.
Oh, you think so? If I showed it to her, you think she'd be like, "Oh, that's herpes"?
She's like, "That you're not sticking that thing in me."
I'd be like, "No, it's a heat rash."
And she's like, "You're gonna be it's gonna be a cold rash by the time you get to have sex with me because it'll be a cold day in hell and it's not happening, Bucko."
Yeah,
you weirdo.
That would be tough to swallow.
I don't know. I don't know, how it is for everybody out there, but some days you just don't have a good dick day.
Right.
And maybe you kick the can down the road a little bit and don't force the issue with lovers because it's not a good dick day. And you're like, I don't feel like it right now.
Sometimes you,
Sometimes you just know, like, this isn't going to be a good performance, or like this is going to go really fast. You're like, let's just do something else. Let's hold on. Let's slow down. Like that happens. Some days you just have a bad dick day.
listen, sweetheart, I've been drinking whiskey sour since 9 a.m., and I don't think this is going to work out. As much as I want it to happen, I'm just too drunk. I'm too goddamn drunk for this. So we're going to have to reschedule. And that doesn't always work. Sometimes you miss your opportunity, But that's what whiskey sours will do to you.
It's a dangerous game.
Yeah, it is.
It's a dangerous game.
I'm thinking about getting a dog.
Oh, God.
What?
I just, that was my reaction was, oh, God.
Well, why? Why is that your reaction? Go ahead, insult me.
No, I wasn't going to insult you at all. I was going to say, I was trying not to insult Frank in case he's listening. It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of responsibility.
Is it, or do people make it too much work?
I don't know, man. It's been 15 years since I've had Frank. It's been a lot of work.
I mean, over that time, sure.
Yeah, but I mean, it's constant. I've spent a lot of money. I've spent a lot of money on Frank that I wish I didn't have to spend on him.
But every dog owner is different, Some people like just.
So are you going to say you're going to be a bad dog owner? Is that what you're implying?
I'm not saying I would neglect.
Because I'm not a great dog owner. Like, and I've had a lot of help with my dog over the years. Like, what are you going to do whenever you go out of town? Who's going to keep him? He's going to drop him off at Miles' house? Like, what are you going to do?
I'm not saying I would neglect a dog. I would love spending time with him. That'd be the whole reason for getting one. But beyond feeding him and taking him out to use the bathroom, I mean, what? Like,
you got to take him to the vet. They get sick. They can't tell you what's wrong.
To the vet?
I mean, you don't have to. You need to take them to at least get their shots and shit, but you got to keep their shots up to date.
Are you a bad dog owner if you don't take your dog to the vet?
What kind of dog are you going to get? Just like a mutt? You just want like a mutt from the pounds?
Yeah, probably. I would probably try to rescue a dog.
And you're going to leave it inside?
I think it would be a hybrid. I got some space that a dog could run around. And then
where you live at now?
And bring them in at night, maybe? You don't think that'd be a good idea? You think they'd run off?
Hold on. Where you're living at now?
Yeah, there would be a lot of space for a dog to run around.
You're not getting it. You can't get a dog out there. The boss is not going to let you get a dog there.
Well, you don't know that.
I feel pretty confident.
Boss man's got a dog.
Yeah, but Boss Man doesn't live in a place that has a shit ton of radio equipment in it that the dog can get in and fuck with.
Well, I hadn't thought about that angle yet.
Yeah, he's not going to like that at all.
But I don't know. Maybe he wouldn't think about that angle either. Like maybe if I
asked
him, he'd be like, that's cool.
No, I'm going to go out and tell you that's going to get you evicted.
I don't know that for a fact.
No inside information here, but the boss is not going to let you move a dog into that new place that he's renovated that keeps all of our radio equipment running. Not to dox you and whatnot, but like I just can't imagine that's a yes there.
Well, I don't know.
But even without that, like you're going to let this dog run around all day and then get in bed with you?
Well, that'd be kind of gross too, wouldn't it? Well, what about a cat? You think maybe a cat would be better?
I still don't think a cat in that radio studio is a good idea because cats like chewing wires, and there's a lot of wires for the cat to chew. You're probably going to end it up with an electrocuted cat in a radio station that's burned down. Like, I'm going to go out and say that like you might be able to get a rabbit or a fish.
The cat would be up there pushing all those shiny buttons too.
Yeah,
a cat would probably be worse, honestly.
Yeah. So I'm going to say that like in your current situation, a pet's not the best route, but even all that stuff aside, like I've already made the decision that I don't think I'll ever get another dog unless I have like kids or something.
Why? You don't think you'll ever get another dog?
I don't think I will. I think Frank's it for me. I'm not saying that like if if I get married and she wants a dog, I'll be like, hey, you get it, but it's not mine. I'm not taking care of it. I'll help you when I can, but it's your responsibility. I'm just saying, like, I won't buy one myself.
Really?
No. Like I said, if I have kids, sure. I mean, I think especially a boy, but a girl too. I've just always pictured a boy needs a good dog.
I feel like everybody kind of needs a good dog.
Yeah, but that'll be his dog, and he'll. But I understand that I'll then end up having to take care of it. I get that. I'm just saying, me personally, as a single male, unmarried male, I'm not buying myself another dog.
What if I had one that I kept outside?
Well, then I would ask what the point was.
I don't know. Just have
unless you want to get out and walk it. I mean, if you get out and walk it, and if you like do stuff with it, then like I think that's fine. Yeah. I think outside dogs are cool, like in the right scenario. I just haven't lived anywhere really recently where that would make sense. Like it was great having outside dogs on the farm.
Yeah. But I feel like if you got an outside dog, you kind of need two dogs, or the dog's just out there by himself all day, you know?
Yeah, probably. And then they're probably going to run off chasing some other dog that's in heat, and it's going to be
hit by
gross.
A car.
Yeah, he's going to get hit by a car, and you got to get him fixed. But if you get him fixed, he maybe isn't as good of a fighter out in the wild. Like, I don't know, man. I just think it's a dangerous game.
What do you think?
That's with like your living, position aside.
What do you think would be the best dog to get
for you?
Yeah, or you. Like, what would you get if you had to choose again?
I mean, I want like a big Rottweiler.
No, I don't want one of those.
I wanted a Rottweiler.
They slobber too much.
Yeah, but it was going to be an outside dog. Outside / porch dog.
Yeah, well, I guess if it's outside, it'd be all right.
Back when me and my ex were living together, whatever, and we had that, the house and the land, like I wanted one of those dogs. He was going to get one of those, invisible fences or whatever and kind of keep up its thing. But that didn't work out.
All right, well, maybe I won't get a dog then. I guess I'll just focus on trying to get the PS5.
Those Bernese mountain dogs are really pretty too.
They're big.
Yeah, I like those a lot. But Frank's been good. Like, I mean, I definitely couldn't get another, miniature wiener dog after Frank passes. That would be too weird. But he's been a good dog. He's been a great dog for the most part. I got no real complaints about Frank.
So you haven't thought about like integrating a new dog in with Frank as he gets older?
I had a dog for one day during COVID.
A new dog?
Yeah. I had a dog for one day during COVID. I took a registered blue tick hound that it was from Smokey's line.
Oh wow.
It might be a lie. It might not have been from Smokey's line. I can't say that for certain. I think it was, but I actually can't. Not take that back. It was just a registered blue tick.
Just a regular old dog.
Yeah. Well, it was registered. I mean, it was good blue tick. But I got him, and then was going to give him to my mom, and just like because she had a house and land. I was like, hey, here's your dog. This will be great. I can kind of come see it. It'll be great. You'll love it. But then like right around that time, her dog died, and she was like, no, I don't want another dog, and I'm not taking care of this puppy. So I was like, fuck. I've already confirmed I'm taking this dog for my friend who was nice enough to kind of set it up for me. So I brought the dog home into my apartment, and the dog pissed everywhere. No surprise. Luckily, it was hardwood. Yeah, it was hardwood floor, so like it was an easy cleanup. But it made Frank so jealous. He just sat there like on my lap. The little puppy wanted to sit in my lap. Frank was not vibing with that dog. And just that one night of sleep, it was just like both of them were just laying right on top of me, and I had to sleep on the couch because I didn't want the dog pissing in my bed. And the blue tick hound just kept doing the howl because, I mean, they're hounds. They're like, oh! I was like, holy fuck, this is
during the night he was doing it?
Yeah, just about once every hour or so, I'd have to get down and howl. And I was like, this dog's not going to be able to live in an apartment. And my mom wasn't going to take it, so I rehomed it. I found a nice woman online that I knew that wanted one, and she had like a 3-year-old son. She lived in Georgia.
Yeah.
I DM'd her. She's like, yeah, I'd love to take him. So I drove him down to like Dalton that next day. I had him for one night, and then I drove him to Dalton. And she posted pictures of him for like a couple months, but I haven't seen her really post pictures of him after the first couple months. So I'm thinking she might have rehomed him too, but I'm not positive.
Well, hopefully he didn't get hit by a car or something.
I don't know. All I know is she posted pictures of the dog, the videos of the dog for like a month, and then that was pretty much it.
Mm.
So
Well,
I don't think I would try to integrate another puppy.
long story short, no puppies. Yeah, I don't think I'd want a puppy either. I'd want to get like a dog that's already kind of grown and knows where to go to when he's got to take a piss. And,
Yeah, but some of those dogs might be pretty fucked up.
Yeah, but you'd be their hero. You'd be saving their life.
It is true, and then you could have the whole thing like, "No, buddy, you saved my life. I didn't have
Yeah.
much purpose before I got you, Fred."
And you feel better about yourself as a person.
Sure.
It's
No,
the
I
key
mean,
to life.
yeah, little things, but eventually that high would wear off.
And then you just got
like,
a dog
fuck.
you got to deal with every day.
Now I got a dog that once every 18 months is going to eat something that fucks up his stomach, and I have to pay $1,000 because at that point he's your best friend.
Yeah.
And like, are you really going to let your best friend die over like $700 or $800?
Yeah. What if you don't have the $700 or $800?
That's what I'm saying. Like Charlie, I felt so bad for Big Dumb Charlie. You know Big Dumb Charlie, right? Used to work at the radio station before he died.
Yeah, the trader.
He took that cat home from the station. Do you know what cat I'm talking about? Do you remember that cat?
Yep. I remember that.
That cat just wandered up to the studio, and Charlie's like, "I'll take it home," and then it became his pet. And then, like, a year into it, the cat ate just change, like a quarter and penny, and absolutely fucked up his stomach. And then Charlie, who was a young, just out of college, poor kid, had to go pay like $800 or $1,000 to get his cat's stomach fixed. And I was like, buddy, you can't do that. Just let the cat die. And he thought I was such an asshole just for saying that. So,
I mean, a cat that eats loose change, probably not a cat worth having in the long run.
That's the thing about pets, man. They become your best friend.
I wonder why the cat would eat change. Why he would see spare change and try to eat it.
I don't know what happened.
Was the cat homeless at one point in time?
Yeah, I think it was.
Was the cat Jewish?
I don't know. You got anything else?
Not really. I'm just getting ready to figure out what I'm going to cook tonight. You got any ideas on what I should cook?
Nope.
All right, then. Well, I'll figure it out.
I got an update for you from Sal's people.
Oh, really?
Did you see the guy on the Discord that said it was the first time he'd seen you nervous?
Yeah. I was a little nervous asking Sal the questions.
So you concur? You agree you were nervous?
Yeah, I was a little bit nervous, yeah.
Yeah. So I told you what I wrote to Sal about, So Sal, Volcano, Impractical Joker, stand-up comedian. He came on Talk Sports on Friday. By the way, we do a radio show every day from 7 to 10 a.m. Make sure you're going to at least listen to the podcast. And, you can click the live stream and listen if you want. We need to get our numbers up. So, if you support this podcast, listen to us do radio every day. But we had Sal on from Impractical Jokers. He's doing some stand-up comedy in Knoxville in a couple months. Well, anyways, afterwards I wrote, and I shot my shot for you, Cody. And, I said, let us know if he needs any local help when the time comes.
Right.
We'd be happy to assist with anything that he'd need in terms of an MC or local warm-up guy or whatever. In parentheses, my co-host Cody wants you to know that he did stand-up on the Sunset Strip this year. Ha ha. If you'd like to have him come back on with us closer to the time of the show or for another hit to push more sales, we'd love that too. Thanks again. Happy to help however we can.
Okay.
Some pretty professional email from me.
Yeah, solid email there. Yeah.
Putting it out there like, hey, my friend would like to help, and maybe you need a local guy. Ha ha. And he put, ha ha, excellent. Glad it worked out. Will do. Let me know if you need anything else out of here. Thanks again for your help. Hope all is well. Have a great weekend.
All right. Well, pretty typical email reply, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, so, not really like a go fuck yourself, but it's like a ha ha, not happening type of thing. But
kind of, thanks for your time. All right. Best regards.
I wouldn't be surprised if he reaches back out maybe closer to November in terms of coming back on the radio show for another push. That wouldn't completely shock me if he did that. But, yeah, I don't think you're going to be doing any local emceeing for him.
Yeah. Well, best regards to him, too. You should just reply back with that. Just say best regards or just best, comma, John.
No, I'm going to write him back on Monday and say, thanks, man. I did have a good weekend. I hope yours was good, too.
Yeah. Did you? Yeah. And then ask him a follow-up. Did you have any fun activities over the weekend?
Yeah. I had a great weekend. How was yours? Do anything fun?
See how many replies you can get from the guy.
Yeah. Maybe we become friends.
Yeah, maybe. Wouldn't be a bad guy to know.
Okay. That's all I got. You got anything else?
Nope, I'm good. Have a good Sunday evening. I'll see you in the morning.
All right. See you in the morning. Thanks
So
for doing the
long.
podcast and not being mad anymore.